It's a beautiful day today and a beautiful day to read some more concerning but also super fun Reddit stories, and I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited once again. I am every single day. I love our daily dose of horrifying content, and if you do too, make sure you subscribe if you want to, and let's get into it. Enjoy, guys. Would I be the gay hole if I cancelled the wedding after my fiancé told me that I should give my son for adoption? I, 26 male, have been with my fiancé, 29 male, for 3 years. I have a son, 10 male, who was conceived in the worst circumstances. When I was 15, I came out of the closet, but I used to live in a conservative town, so my family convinced me that I was just confused. And if I had horizontal mumbo with a woman, I'd understand. I slept with a girl after a party. I didn't like it, but a few months after, she told me she was pregnant. When the baby was born, she disappeared, and I haven't seen her since. My parents demanded a paternity test, and the baby was mine, so they did help me with the baby until I turned 18, and then they kicked me out. I met my fiancé in a coffee shop. We became friends and I introduced him to my son, and we eventually became more. He proposed a few months ago and we've been planning our wedding. My son wasn't there when he proposed, and it should have been a red flag, but I thought he just wanted privacy for other activities, and I thought that he loved my son. My son absolutely adores him. He loves spending time with him and playing, and I thought my fiancé loved him too. A week ago, we're discussing the wedding, and I wanted my son to be the ring bearer for my best man. My fiancé stared at me for a few seconds and asked me what the hell I was talking about. What? I was confused, and he continued to say that why would my son be at our wedding if we were putting him up for adoption? I told him that why would I ever give my son for adoption? And he said that he supposed that once we got married, we'd adopt children that weren't related to us because it wasn't fair that my son is only related to me. Oh my god, what is this person talking about? I never said I'd give him up for adoption. I love my son with all of my heart. He's my person. I live for my son. He said that he understood that I love my son, but I'd love our children more. He even said that my son was conceived under abuse, so I should hate him too. I was bewildered. My fiancé does know the story, but I always said that I wouldn't trade my son for anything. We started arguing, and he asked me that I had to choose my son or him, and I said my son without a doubt. He left and hasn't come back. Yeah, let him go, OP. He did text me to say that he understood my position as a father, and that he would accept my son, but when we get married, we're gonna adopt another boy. I've been spending all of my time off work with my son, but he keeps asking where my fiancé is. I don't know what to tell him. He's so excited for the wedding, and I don't know if I'm overreacting. I don't want to break his heart. He deserves a loving family, and my fiancé doesn't seem to want to be one with him. I don't know what to do. Should I cancel the wedding? Should I keep going? Am I overreacting? No, of course you're not overreacting. That's the most wild expectation I feel like I've ever read. What the hell is your fiancé on about? And of course you'll choose your son over your fiancé. What sort of sick joke is this? Oh yeah, you're gonna give your son up for adoption, right? No, what are you talking about? That's absolutely wild, OP. Yeah, like this comment says, cancel that wedding. You would not be the a-hole if you cancelled the wedding. You'd be the hero. You'd be protecting your son from an eternity of alienation. You'd be protecting your son from the reality that new dad doesn't really love him. You'll be saving him from all of that pain. You're putting your son first, and that's how it should be, not the a-hole. Yeah, completely. Talk about red flags. And this comment too, pick your kid over the guy. The fact that he even came up with this idea means that you can't ever trust him around your son. People don't go from let's give up the boy to the world's best parent, not the a-hole. Yeah, and I can't believe he had the audacity to say that it wasn't fair. But also what, you think giving OP's son up for adoption is fair? What a joke. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Obviously, you would be the a-hole if you did what he said, but of course put your son first. What even sort of question is that? Oh, that's infuriating. I can't believe he even had the audacity to say that. This next one is on the entitled people subreddit. My mum thinks a court will give her my house. I bought a small starter home during the housing market crash, completely by myself. I lived there for the better part of a decade before buying a larger home with my husband. My parents really wanted to live there because it was small and easy to maintain. They have foreclosured in the past, so no way would they be capable of somebody giving them a mortgage. Also, my dad's retired and my mum doesn't work. They want to rent from me. For a quote-unquote discounted rent, they paid off the mortgage, let's say 50 grand, with an over 6-figure inheritance that my parents got. A lease got written up explaining that it was a prepayment of rent, and their rent would only be the taxes and insurance, and they'd pay $350 a month, basically only going up when taxes and insurance are going up. We signed the lease with all the other typical stuff in it, and had it notarized, and that's how it's been for a while now. So to be clear, I'm not making a dime on this house. I recently told them the rent would go up by $3. Yeah, $3 only because of a slight increase in the insurance. My mother lost her claiming that I'm a money-hungry She was going to rip out everything that she did, the garden and the other cosmetic changes that I owe her and I can't evict her because it's her house. Oh, get out of here. I love it when ungrateful people don't realize how lucky they are. And by love it, I mean it's frustrating as hell. She's not responsible for the insurance. The lease says otherwise. Insurance hasn't been raised in a decade. Look at lumber prices. I'm trying to make her pay my personal homeowner's insurance, and a court will show me that and give her my house. I feel like your mum has possibly lost her mind, OP. We have a notarized lease. They're listed as tenants. I'm the only one on the deed. My father demanded the bills, 0 balls this man has, to see if I'm ripping them off. Do they think we still live in the 50s or something? They're getting the deal of a lifetime. This house is a commutable distance from Manhattan. So a studio apartment around here is like $1,500. This is a house with a large yard for their dog. I can easily get $2,000 for the house, even before they moved in. I sent them copies of the taxes and insurance showing only their address. P.S. I'm charging them discounted taxes. You get a discount for paying in full 90 days early. I told them to add and divide by 12, and I told my mother to talk to a lawyer so they can slap them straight. I guess my father agreed with me because now she's divorcing my father. Oh God. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but that's so ridiculous. What is your mum even talking about? Oh yeah, the courts are gonna give me your house. No, they're not. And they're paying $350 a month. They have no idea how good they've got it. That's so annoying. Actually kinda hilarious though. Like, oh no, you've got no idea. Yeah, this comment, no good deed goes unpunished. Yeah, apparently not. Like, what more do they want? Oh yeah, they want OP's house. Well, like OP's mum wants OP's house. This comment says, kick them out then. Send them the eviction notice and let her try her in court. OP said, I told my father I would, and my mum is dead set on a judge giving her the house. And me being money hungry and they'll see it. My husband said to print out rental listings in the area and slam it onto the table and tell them to decide. $353 or $2,000. Choice is yours. I also tried to explain the clauses I can use to get her out. She thinks that I can never make her leave. I don't know what Kool-Aid she drank. Yeah, the comment below that. I'd seriously have checked her for dementia for this. Yeah, like that definitely wouldn't be funny, but it would probably explain this. This comment says, unfortunately, you tried to help your parents out financially, and they're truly ungrateful, and they bit the hand that fed them. You've got a legal lease document, not a rent-own document, so your mum's out of luck trying to get a judge to give up your home to her. You may want to proceed to get an eviction notice to her. Good luck in whatever you decide to do. But yeah, no way your mum can force ownership of your home to her. Yeah, that's so true. Like, you tried to help them out, and you were too. $300 a month instead of $2,000, and they were too ungrateful to even see how much you were helping them. That sucks. Yeah, good luck with it, OP. The next one says, am I the a-hole for refusing to give my niece what she wants for her birthday? Yesterday we had a big family gathering, which meant my older sister 29 and her daughter 6 came over. For half of the day, everything was well and good. After lunch, my sister got tired, so I, 27 female, volunteered to look after my niece while my sister took a nap. Now, I've got a collection of stuffed animals and 20cm dolls, 7.8 inches for those in America, which I let my niece play with when her mother napped. Then my sister woke up, joined us, and we spent a bit more time together before she announced it was time for them to leave. That was when my niece pointed at a doll that I was holding and said that she liked him and that she wanted me to give him to her. I told her that she could get any other doll or stuffed animal from my collection, just not this one. My niece got really upset and started crying, saying that her birthday was coming, it's next week, and that she wanted that doll as her birthday present. Again, I told her I couldn't give him to her, explaining to her he was super important to me. I didn't tell my niece in detail about why he's important to me because she's still too young to understand, but I'll explain it here to give a better picture. OP, you don't need to justify this. You're not the a-hole for not giving her something that you want. I've had this doll for a long while now. Back in the darkest time of my life where nothing seemed to go right for me, I was advised to find an outlet, letting out my thoughts either in the form of writing or drawing. One of my drawings was the design for the doll in this post. I spent a lot of time with it, shading it, coloring it, and all that. Then I got the idea of turning the drawing into something physical. I searched and eventually found somebody I trusted that could help me with it. For months we worked together choosing the material and fabric and threads, all to make my doll's body, hair, and eyes. A lot of money was spent, but the process helped my mind be in a better place, and the result was so worth it. I was so happy the day I had him in my hands, and since then, he's become my emotional support doll. I don't know if it's strange, but whenever I look at him, I feel like I can overcome everything. So yeah, he's very important to me. My sister told me that maybe it was time for me to let go of him. Again, I told him I could give my niece any other dolls and stuffed animals that she wanted, just not this one. My niece cried harder and started screaming. My sister told me I was being an overgrown child, that I needed to act my age and stop clinging to a toy. It ended with her leaving with my still crying niece, telling me that I needed to prioritize my family over a doll. Am I the a-hole? Are you the a-hole for not giving away something that you wanted to keep that had sentimental value to you? No, of course you're not. Yeah, this comment, not the a-hole. My sister told me that maybe it was time for me to let go of him. Again, I told them I could give my niece any other dolls and stuffed animals that she wanted, just not this one. My niece cried even harder and started screaming. My sister told me I was being an overgrown child, that I needed to act my age and stop clinging to a toy. It ended with her leaving with my still crying niece, telling me that I needed to prioritize my family over a doll. Yeah, maybe your sister needs to teach her child that she can't have everything that she wants when it belongs to somebody else. It's called correcting your child. It's basic parenting. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Or maybe it's time to let go of him. Maybe it's time that you actually listen to them when they said no. Of course you're not in the wrong, OP. And like this comment says too, hide your doll. Do not leave it unprotected in your house, or there's a good chance that it'll disappear for good. In fact, since you're staying with your parents, I'll just put a lock on your door and don't give anybody a key. And OP said, thank you, I think I'll do this. It's so wild that your sister OP isn't backing you up, and also so ridiculous that they're not telling their daughter that they can't have everything they want just because they cry and say that they want it. That was such a good opportunity for a good teaching moment for your sister, but no, she somehow thinks that you're in the wrong. That's so annoying. Post number 4 is called, am I the gay hole for telling my mother-in-law that she made her bed so she can lay in it? My husband and I are in our early 30s, married for a few years but together for 11. During this time, we often argue due to my in-laws' behavior, but specifically my mother-in-law. There are many examples I could make, but to sum it up, she's been controlling to not only my husband, but also me, even going as far as pressuring my husband to make me do what she wanted regarding situations that didn't even concern her at all. Disrespectful towards me, overall invasive and demanding. You name it, the only thing that she hasn't done is directly insult me to my face. I kept telling my husband that I was over their behavior and to put a stop to it, but he never really acted decisively, so mother-in-law never really stopped. Time after time, I'd put up a happy front and bite my tongue not to cause any drama, but because everything keeps on piling up, I'm always on the verge of blowing up whenever I'm around them. I tell my husband that I'd like to limit contact for a while, but he insists that we go and visit. My husband is also aware of how much I'm affected by this. Anyway, we meet up and mother-in-law starts with her usual antics. I stay quiet until I've had enough and I start talking back to her. I did not insult her, but I wouldn't let anything slide like I usually do, and I highlighted every inappropriate or invasive comment. She's surprised and asked me what come on to me. I never acted like this, and so on. In a fit of rage, I wasn't yelling and I spoke calmly, but my emotional state was crystal clear. You could not mistake it for a light-hearted remark. I told her that she's been disrespecting me for years, and this is what she's gonna get now. And she made her bed, so she should lay in it. Things got tense and we left. I'm upset, but I finally feel liberated for standing up for myself. My husband seems torn. Mother-in-law is obviously livid. Husband has now said that he agrees and understands my emotional state, but also wants to keep the peace and to just apologize. Oh, get out of here, husband. I refused, and I said that I'd only be open to revisit the relationship if I see some change in effort, to at least be cordial and mutually respectful, and I absolutely will not apologize for anything I said because I mean it, and I'll do it again. I reminded him that he had many chances to stand up to them, and that I also said nobody involved would enjoy it if I had to stand up for myself, and he never took me serious. I also said I never insulted her or yelled at her, so apologizing for my reaction to her comments sounds incredibly backwards. Am I the gay hole for what I said and for not budging on this? No, not even a little bit, OP. But what's your husband doing? Oh, I'm so tired of reading about these husbands that don't stand up for their partner. It's so infuriating. And also, especially when it's their own bloody mum being rude to their partner. Why the hell should you apologize and keep the peace? And all these spineless husbands, oh my god, stand up for your partner. This comment says, not the gay hole, you're 1,000% correct. Do not budge on this. Good for you and your shiny spine, OP. Your husband digging in his heels and refusing to resolve this with his mum is making it so much worse. This is not on you to continue to be treated poorly to keep the peace. It's ultimately on your mother-in-law to treat her son and daughter-in-law with some respect. Full stop. And also this comment, not the a-hole, you're a saint. Your husband needs to step up and be better. If he can't stand up for you with you present, I highly doubt he does that behind your back. It makes me wonder what mother-in-law says when you're not there, and also why she's comfortable enough to say it to him. Yeah, that's such a good point. OP said that has been an ongoing issue that I have brought up to him many different times. I kinda know what he says to her when he stands up for me behind my back, and it's often to the tune of don't do this going forward. She justifies her behavior, and then the following time she's a bit more sly about it. No matter how many conversations I have with my husband, things are never really resolved, so that's where we landed. Oh, that's so sad, OP. Your husband sucks. Like, I've been trying not to say it, but oh my god, he does. What are you doing, dude? Yeah, the comment below that one, that's been an ongoing issue, and I brought it up to him many different times, and he doesn't give a Yeah, it definitely seems like it. Or what, can't stand up to his mum or something? Either way, that's infuriating, and you're not the a-hole, OP. Post number 5 is called, Am I the gay hole for telling my parents to think about whether they want to come stay with me? After my mum gave me the silent treatment, I, female 31, live on another continent from my parents. We've got a rocky relationship because my mother is controlling and throws fits when she doesn't get her way. My dad is unfortunately an enabler and goes for, it's your fault, you should apologize for upsetting your mother every time. Recently they came to stay in my 400 square foot studio apartment with me, despite me saying that they might be more comfortable in a hotel for cultural reasons, Asian family. My mum feels like she needs to come and rearrange my kitchen and cook food for me. She doesn't give me a choice in this, and that I should be grateful and revert to the powerlessness of my childhood. For example, she decides what I eat for every meal. Oh god. I get questioned about it when I'm leaving the house and when I'm coming back. I came home from work yesterday and the water was out without any warning. I got slightly upset as my landlord has been guilty of doing this kind of thing before without 24 hours of notice. As I was putting in the work order, I muttered under my breath about how annoying it was and I was clearly frustrated. My mum started to tell me to calm down. Why do I always get so worked up about these things? I was already frustrated, so I said, calmly, don't tell me to calm down. I've got the right to be upset about this. My feelings are valid. I did not raise my voice. My mum hates it when I say stuff like this, so she responded by throwing whatever she was holding to the ground and giving me the silent treatment. Oh my god, like a baby. Before she started that, she said, well, I have the right to feel many things too. How dare you talk to me that way? And then gave me the silent treatment for the rest of the night, including refusing to eat dinner and also threw what she was holding onto the ground. That's so wild. This morning they left for a short trip, but they'll be coming back to stay with me later. As we were waiting for a taxi, I asked my mum, a little incredulously, if she was going to continue giving me the silent treatment when she came back. She didn't respond. I said, this is the one time I'm going to bring it up. I'm not going to keep asking about it. There's not much point in coming to visit me if you're going to ignore me the whole time. My mum then said, fine, then we won't stay with you when we get back. We'll make alternate arrangements. My dad started laying into me about how it's my fault because I was upset and I upset her yesterday by throwing a tantrum, and now I was trying to bully her into speaking to me. If you really feel that way, then maybe you should think about whether or not you want to stay with me when you get back. Am I the gay hole for saying this? No, I don't think so, OP. The top comment says not the gay hole. Do they have a key? If they do, change the locks and be away from home when they get into town. Your relationship may be better without the stress of them staying with you. Offer to take them out to dinner at a restaurant of their choice. OP said, I also think staying separately would be better for our relationship. The problem is they're absolutely against the idea and they see it as a betrayal of family values and a confirmation that I've become too Americanized after living here for 8 years. This comment says part of the problem is the lack of emotional boundaries and the parents' belief that you're physically and emotionally an extension of them. And OP said that's exactly the case. The video was an interesting watch. The comment linked a video. I'm still struggling to establish boundaries and maintain my mental health. I feel like I'm crazy when they gang up against me and outright say that I'm selfish and ungrateful and rude for calmly expressing my feelings. The comment below that says you're in the fog, like I used to be with my mum. She would shame and guilt trip me into capitulation. Fear, obligation, and guilt, fog, is a term used to describe a cycle of emotional manipulation that can occur in relationships. It's also known as gaslighting. Blackmailers use fog to manipulate their targets by playing on these three emotions. Fear. Blackmailers can create fear of abandonment or anger by observing body language and vulnerabilities. Obligation. Blackmailers can exploit a target's sense of obligation by overemphasizing how much they owe them. And guilt too. Blackmailers can use blame and accusations to create a feeling of guilt. Fog can negatively impact a person's self-esteem and emotional health and physical health and ability to function. Susan Ford and Donna Fraser coined the term fog in their book Emotional Blackmail. Getting out of the fog and establishing boundaries will be an uphill battle. You have to learn to put your foot down and mean it. It'll feel weird and scary at first, but like a muscle, the more you use it, the stronger you'll feel. Yeah, that's such an interesting comment. And yeah, of course you're not the a-hole, OP. And I feel like that's enough for today. That was such a wild episode, and I hope you guys had a good time today. I've got 2 wholesome memes to show you before we go. When my friend who I haven't talked to in a while sends me a meme, I'm still worthy. Oh, that's so cute. I miss you, friend. Here's a funny meme. I work in an animation studio with some of the best artists I've ever met, and this is the pumpkin that won our carving contest. Wow, that's adorable. And so much emotion on such a simple face. That's so funny. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time today. And if you did, make sure you subscribe if you want to. And the comment of the day today goes to MX America. I'm happy to announce after weeks of applying since I quit my job, I finally got an interview today. Wish me luck. Oh, congratulations. That's so awesome. I hope it goes well. Hell yeah, that has to be such a good feeling. All the best with it, and thank you for watching the episodes too. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for the support, guys. Okay, I'm out of here. Make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!